Hello, a little information about me. After graduation, I decided to stay home with my children until my youngest went to school. Honestly, I think I used my teaching degree every single day that I was home. When I came back to the classroom, I taught both third and fourth grade and absolutely loved my job. I received an opportunity to become a master teacher over the K-8 classes, and I felt that I could make more of an impact with more students. I'm currently working as an associate dean in the College of Education at the University of Phoenix. Here, I get to do what I love, and that is prepare teachers so that they can make an impact on young learners. The quote, "Tell me and I'll forget, show me and I may remember, involve me and I learn," by Benjamin Franklin. This quote has always been a driving force in my educational career. Kids that are engaged love to learn and have fun at the same time. Before we begin getting into the heart of the webinar, I wanted to provide you a few tips. Doing activities at home, it's important to be prepared and know that you can use pretty much any item at your house. Don't overload yourself feeling that you must keep the kids busy with 10 activities a day. Pick one or two, and if they go short, expand on the activity or have your child teach another family member how to do it. Another tip, put the kids to work too. You don't have to get all the materials together. Give your child or children a list of items to gather. Older kids are great to have as assistants, and they love to have the responsibility. Perhaps you could even entice a future teacher. Lastly, don't stress. The activities are meant to be educational and fun at the same time. If something doesn't go right, maybe you'll invent a new activity. The webinar content is based on educational and fun activities to do at home. They have been sorted in content areas of math, STEM, literacy, social studies, physical education, and the arts. There's about 3 to 6 activities listed for each content area. Many activities are always so much fun to do with ages, but math is really fun. Here are 5 activities listed. We have sink or float, using objects around the house, and kids make a prediction whether the item will sink or float in water. Make a chart to collect the data, and even older kids could graph the data. Measuring activities are also a lot of fun. There are 3 activities geared towards cooking and measuring. A little one can learn how to measure and cook, but this activity can be expanded by asking an older child to double or triple the recipe. This will require adding fractions, but think of all those cookies you could get out of a tripled recipe. The pizza fun activity uses raw pizza dough, and kids divide the dough up based on how many people they want to make that pizza for. Little ones can count the pepperoni. Older kids can predict how much cheese will go on a pizza and then actually measure it, see if they're right. Pizza for all. Math games are always fun. One that I played with both my own kids and students was using shaving cream on a hard surface and quiz kids with multiplication facts. They can even draw shapes in the shaving cream to figure out the math problem. This activity is also fun with spelling or any other content needed to study. The next content area is literacy. There are so many different ideas, but I picked some of my favorite. What happens next is something the whole family can do together, or it can also be an individual activity. Pick a movie that also has a book. For instance, The Lorax by Dr. Seuss. Read the book and then watch the movie. Were they the same or completely different? Which one was better? Then watch the movie and stop it before the end and write your own ending for another rendition of the activity. Then you can discuss the ending with either your family or write it on paper. The next activity, Movie Critic. Child could use the same movie and record a critique of the movie or the book. Give it a thumbs up, give it a thumbs down. Why did you like it? And they can share the recording with friends and family via email. A good activity for kids is to think sequentially. Sequentially is by making a recipe. This can be either through a video or writing. A child can say or write a recipe step by step. For instance, how to make a PB&J or how to make lemonade. It sounds easy until you realize a step is left out. It's not so good if you leave the sugar out of the lemonade. Yuck. A spin-off of this activity is to make a how-to video and use transition words such as first, next, or lastly to connect the activity to being what's asked to do. An activity focused on our current situation is to have a child write about the quarantine from a different perspective. What would the family pet say? What about a healthcare worker or even a grocery worker? It sure would be interesting to hear the different perspectives, especially from the eyes of a child. Physical education activities are always fun and can be entertaining for the family. Minute to Win It, it can be placed both inside or outside, depending on the activities. I have suggested a couple, such as marshmallow toss, where participants stand several feet apart and toss marshmallows to each other. The team who catches the most wins. Another activity is using those chopsticks you get from takeout and you leave them in your drawer. Well, take those chopsticks out and put some cereal in a bowl. The team who can transfer the most cereal from one bowl to another with using the chopsticks wins. Really, any small item would work. A balloon toss is fun. Blow up a package of balloons and toss to your team member. The most balloons caught wins. An obstacle course in the yard would keep kids engaged for quite a while. First, they must build it, and then they can time each other to see who finishes it the best, who's the quickest. Different rules can apply, such as being blindfolded, or they have to hop through the obstacle course. Items around the house can make up the course. Use tape, boxes, hula hoops, or even a scooter. Volleyball with balloons can be done inside or out. A rope, a couch, sheet, or even tape can serve as the net. Toss the balloon over the net and see how many successful tries you can do with another person. Or play a game of volleyball with the balloon and keep score. Have you ever tried line dancing? Search for a line dance on the internet or YouTube and teach it to the family. There are so many fun dances out there. This is a great chance to just be silly. STEM is always fun, especially for those kids who love to create. When my son was little, he loved to create plans for things he wanted to build. He had plans for a fort to be built with Lincoln logs or sheets, to a paintball course out in the yard. The sky is the limit. The science lovers love the cloud in a jar activity. Using a jar, hot water, ice, and some hairspray, you can create a buildup of condensation, allowing a cloud to be released into the air. Variations of this activity can be created. What if you don't use hot water? What would happen if you used a much larger jar? The scientist in your child will want to experiment. The structure challenge gives the kids opportunity to build and test the strength of materials or a design. Using items around the house, build a structure. Make it a competition and see who can build the tallest structure or the most resilient structure. This activity can last a long time, so good for those days when kids need a longer activity to keep them busy. On to social studies, which is one of my favorites. Children can interview an older person and learn so much about history. Kids write their own interview questions based on the dates the interviewee grew up. They interview via FaceTime or a phone call and ask, what kind of things were happening when you were a child? What was happening in history? Have you had a dream of a destination, of a place to travel to? Kids can research places they would like to visit. Find out what there is to see or do. What's the weather like? interesting facts, or what kind of food is there. Older kids could also research how much is the airfare, or how much would it cost for a hotel, and any other items that they would need to purchase. Once research is complete, make a brochure based on the findings. A presentation could even be created and presented to the family. Who knows, maybe this will motivate everyone to save for their dream destination. The arts is always fun when looking for something to keep busy with. Create a masterpiece using recycled materials such as cups, bottles, paper towel tubes, etc. Place on a canvas, which could be a side of a cardboard box or a poster board. If you feel adventurous and with adult supervision, spray paint the masterpiece with silver spray paint for a unique piece of art. With everything that is going on in our world, it's important to stay in contact with our family and friends. Using the phone or FaceTime, kids can interview and see how their loved one is doing. What is happening where they live? Do they have positive stories of people helping others to share? Kids should create interview questions ahead of time so they know what to ask. Well, I hope you found a couple activities that you and your children may enjoy. But most of all, keep calm and remember, just have fun. Thanks and take care.